Welcome back here today on the beautiful campus of Florida Panhandle Technical College. If you're a regular viewer of the show, our guest is no stranger. It is Landrea Garrett from Kindred at Home, along with her son James, actually, joined us today. When do you do?
August 1st.
Okay, well, you're going to have to come on soon after, whenever it's comfortable. In any case, when we return, we're going to talk to Landrea about Kindred at Home. Again, you've seen Landrea in the past talking about the services provided by Kindred. Today, we're going to talk about National Nurses Week. We're going to talk about a bunch of things, do a little bit of housekeeping, inform you at the end of the day about Kindred at Home and all the reasons why you should probably pay attention to Landrea and all the services that they provide. We'll be right back. Welcome back. As mentioned, our guest today is Landrea Garrett from Kindred at Home. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You've got a couple more months of hot weather to deal with.
Yep.
How's it going?
Well, it's great, actually. No stranger to carrying a baby in August, so we'll just see how this works out for me. Everything's great.
Is it typically easier with successive children versus the first one, as far as being nervous and knowing what's going to happen?
Oh, yeah. You still get a little anxious at the end, for each one, but I noticed with my second one, it was quite a bit easier for me, and then actually recovery was remarkably easier than my first.
So this is number 3?
This is number 3.
Is this going to be it?
I think so.
Oh, but you're not slamming the door or anything.
Yeah, I'm not, but I feel like we're probably done. This will be my third boy, and everybody's wanting us to, see if we could go for the girl for
Try
the fourth
one more time.
And I said, well, if we do that, it'll be 4 boys.
What is meant to be, and I find as getting ready to be a 7-time grandfather, I'm a much better grandparent than I was a parent, number one. I'm more patient, I have more time, I'm in a different stage in life. But kids are great. Kids are a gift from God, and they're the best thing that are in our life, so congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Kindred at Home, you've been on several times. Let's, again, for those who maybe have not seen you on the show before, let's talk about, in broad strokes, what is the umbrella that is Kindred at Home?
Well, we are a home health company. We're a national company, and we are located in Marianna, Florida, our local branch. And we also have a division, a hospice division, Emerald Coast Hospice, that has an office here in Chipley locally, and then they also have an office in Marianna, Florida.
For those who may have dealt with you in the past, at one point you were under the umbrella of Gentiva. You went through a big name change. All that has sort of washed its way out now. You have Emerald Coast Hospice. They come on the show regularly. And then you have Kindred at Home, which is the home health care.
Right.
What is home health care?
Home health care are for typically our elderly population that qualify for it. They have to be homebound, which generally means that it's a taxing effort to leave their home. It doesn't necessarily mean that they can't ever leave their home. So we provide skilled nursing services, therapy services to those patients that qualify for those services. And usually that means their doctor, or whoever is their primary care physician has ordered such for them.
You mentioned in the pre-show that you are looking for some physical therapists right now.
Right.
If people are interested, if they hear this and they say, hey, I'm a physical therapist, I know a physical therapist, they're looking for a job, what would be the best way for them to pursue if they were interested?
Well, they can go to our website, www.kindredathome.com, and look for career opportunities on the website. We are also needing registered nurses as well. So you can go to the website if you're a registered nurse or a physical therapist, or you know someone that may be interested in home health care, or they can call us at our office at 850-526-1932.
Very good. You can also hear all of these help wanted advertisements on the college radio station, which is fptcradio.com, including the one for Kindred at Home for the physical therapists and registered nurses. Every day I'm kind of surprised we don't have a local agency. You would expect our Chamber of Commerce to be out there being the one waving the flag saying, hey, there's help wanted. If you're looking for a job, if you have a job you're trying to fill, let us help you. We don't get that from our Chamber of Commerce. We don't have an agency locally that does that. And so by default, we've sort of taken on that role. But anytime that you guys are looking for help, let us know. And we'll go ahead and we'll also blast that over social media. So if you are a fan of any of our Facebook pages, chances are you're going to see that help wanted ad. We typically have you on and we talk about whatever the cause of that month is. You say there's not currently a big push on anything, but you did point out that it's National Nurses Week coming up. Let's talk about that.
Right. Well, next week will be a National Nurses Week, and we will be at our local facilities and also celebrating our own nurses at our branch. We'll provide lots of fun activities and goodies, and so we're just happy that we can take part of that and celebrate our nurses because, they're such a vital part in the health of our elder community.
You were in the nursing field before you came to work doing what you're doing, is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. There's always a need for nurses.
Yes, sir.
Is that still current
Oh,
today?
yes, most definitely.
And why is that?
Because it's just such a broad field. I mean, there's any type of any field you can get into, so they're just really coveted and really needed.
And a well-paid profession, typically.
Exactly, and there's always work. It's a secure profession because if something doesn't work out, maybe in the area that you're focusing in, there's always a new, fresh opportunity around the corner that you can jump right into.
Both in hands-on patient care as well as areas that don't require contact with patients. RNs are used in lots of different roles and not always touching a patient.
Well, for me, for example, I'm a registered nurse with a bachelor's degree, but I'm assisting in the marketing sales area for Kindred at Home. So it's a little different than what I was used to in the past, but it's still rewarding because I'm still working with my geriatric population and making contact with them, and I feel like I'm bringing education to them and letting them know about our services. That way they can get the help that they need.
Probably an obvious answer to this question, but I would presume that your nursing experience brings a lot to the table in the role in which you find yourself now.
Correct. Mainly my nursing experience was focused in geriatric care for 13 years at a long-term care facility. So, I've had a lot of experience. One of the things that Kindred at Home wants to focus on is the epidemic with falling with our elderly population. And so right now we have our Save Strides campaign going on. And Save Strides is our specialty program that is geared towards the fall reduction and rehospitalizations associated with falls and injuries of the elderly population. So one thing that is special about this program is it focuses on the deficit the patient has. It's not just a random walking program or strengthening program that we just give everybody. The clinician will get to the source of the problem. Sometimes it could be an inner ear balance disorder. It could be a visual problem. It could be a sensory problem where they are not able to really have sensation in their feet or their hands. And it could be a general muscle weakness problem. So they detect the problem through the tests that they do up front, and then they'll provide that patient with a unique program to get to the source of the problem, and they can remain at home and independent.
So you're saying you're seeing an increased number of falls. In addition to that, as we get older, falls can have greater consequences.
Oh, definitely.
Lots of broken hips.
Right.
And sometimes death, obviously. And with an elderly person or older person, a more mature or experienced person, which I like to say, sometimes they're still living at home. If they fall, they literally, the old commercial, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Not everybody has that access to that emergency piece of equipment. They can lay there and simply die.
And the patient may be one fall away from not being able to remain in their home and be independent. And this program is just so instrumental in the reducing the risk of falls that it's very beneficial.
Here on campus at Florida Panhandle Technical College, we have a CNA program, which is the Certified Nursing Assistant, as well as the Licensed Practical Nursing, or LPN program. Do you use both of those types of nurses within the organization?
Yes, we have home health aides, which are CNAs, and we have LPNs, and we have registered nurses. So we have, each level of care provided. That way the patient is cared for on a holistic level.
Many times people see the CNA program and they presume that you're going to go to work in a nursing facility, in an extended care facility, in a long-term care facility. But in reality, there's a lot of jobs out there for CNAs simply as visiting nurses or visiting nursing personnel, kind of like what you're talking about.
Right. And really, it's much cheaper to provide care in the home setting. So the government is really looking at that type of care versus facility care because it's cheaper. So I feel like healthcare is maybe swinging towards home health care as, maybe being, first choice of care versus the facility, if possible.
Well, and in addition to that sensitivity on the part of the federal government, by default, the insurance companies also have a sensitivity to that. And I know that we've talked about it in the past where hospitals have more of a sensitivity to people coming back with the same malady that they were there for to begin with.
Right.
So the hospitals have a fine eye on making sure that patient is really ready to go home and is not going to come back in a day or two.
Because they are also facing hospital fines and stuff for rehospitalization rates, especially with certain type of diagnosis. So that government is looking at that kind of stuff too, and that's where our program could be beneficial to facilities like that and the doctors, because it does cut the rehospitalization rates drastically.
Yeah, and I know you're a national firm, so the answer to this is everywhere, but out of your Marietta location, what geographical area do you actually provide coverage?
Well, we cover Holmes, Washington, Jackson, Calhoun, Liberty, and some of Gadsden County.
Okay, so you stay pretty much off the coast and you go a fair distance north and south. So
yes, sir.
Some of your people are probably putting a lot of miles on their vehicles.
Right. Well, we try to hire local clinicians in the area that they'll be covering too. So you may be at home and then see someone that you've known for a long time come in to take care of you. So it's a way to give back to the community too.
Let's talk about that for a second. That's a wonderful opportunity to address your personnel. What you're saying is that you're in Marietta, but if you've got some patients that need care in Holmes County, that you've probably got personnel, visiting nurses of whatever ilk, living in that Holmes County area,
right.
or they might even be in Walton County or other areas, but that they're servicing Holmes County.
Right.
So your people are not necessarily every morning going to the Marietta office and then going to work from there. They may go directly, even though on occasion they may have to go someplace to fill out paperwork.
Yes. Yeah, we typically try to keep it, as simple and most convenient for our caregivers as possible. That way they're not driving a great distance in between patients, and they can deliver more efficient care.
That's a sales tool to attract people for those positions, mm-hmm. is that they don't have to drive those hours every day. Mm-hmm. They can work within there. And then typically how often would that personnel, can you electronically transfer documentation?
Oh yeah, they have their iPads. They work
okay.
off the tablets, and so that helps track their mileage. They can communicate via email to our case managers that work in the office and that kind of stuff.
So how often would they go to headquarters for meetings and that sort of thing, roughly?
Well, usually we definitely have a monthly staff meeting. So, they have to report for that. And if there was, any other issue that they may have to go in. But usually maybe once a week they might come.
They're almost living the job as an independent contractor, almost, the way that they're set up. So that's actually a sales point. That's an attractive part of that job. So again, if you're interested, what is your website?
It's www.kindredathome.com.
Okay. What else is going on new and exciting? I know you've got some personnel changes within the organization.
Well, we actually, one of our senior sales associate, Heidi Stone, was promoted to the area director of sales role. So now she will have several branches under her supervision that she will manage. And so that opened up a spot for Amanda Harkrider. She's coming over from Emerald Coast Hospice, and she's going to join us on the home health side and be a part of our sales and marketing family.
Well, great, and congratulations to Amanda. Amanda's been on the show multiple times in the past. Actually, she's had other roles and even in other companies. Mm-hmm. But Margot Lamb from Emerald Coast Hospice, who heads up the volunteerism there, I know that's your sister company. She is actually leaving town as well.
Right.
Where is she going?
I believe she's going to Texas, where her husband's employed there. And
okay.
Her son is graduating, so I believe she's waiting for him to graduate, and then they're going to move and be based out of Texas.
It's tough when you're split up like that. Mm-hmm. That certainly tests a relationship. You've got a wealth of highly qualified and interesting people working for your organization. We appreciate you coming on a regular basis, okay. And you don't come often enough. And I know obviously you've got other
right.
things that you're dealing with right now. But after James is born and you get back on your feet, literally in all kinds of ways. try to come back a little more often. Let's make sure we get people up to speed on what you provide, and also whatever your special promotions are, whatever your focus is on a monthly basis. Let's get you back more often.
Okay. Well, as many times as you'll have me.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Our guest today has been Landrea Garrett and her son James. We are obviously very proud of many of the businesses here in this community. Kindred at Home providing that all important at-home visiting nurse or visiting professional personnel service. As Landrea points out, federal government, insurance companies, all with a fine eye on keeping people in their home as long as possible, keeping them out of that hospital environment, keeping them out of that assisted living facility even. So obviously these at-home nursing services being all important. And if you've got somebody in your life that's getting a little bit more mature who may need those services, make sure you check out that website, Kindred at Home, and I'm sure that Landrea will be back occasionally to let us know what's going on. We'll be right back.